Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tandiwe from South African Tourism. We do apologize for the late start. You can't hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? All right, my name is Tandiwe from South African Tourism. We're going to start shortly. We really apologize for the late start. As soon as our DM walks in, we're definitely going to start. Our apologies for that. Thank you so much. I know, right? Even me, I'm like, okay, wait. Hmm? No, it's fine, I've got it. So who speaks first? Bronwyn or Dion? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Deputy Minister, Mr. Fish Mahlalela, and our CQAO, Ms. Brownwyn Oret. My job is very simple, is to piece everything together. I am Tandiwe Matibela from South African Tourism. I am in the comms department. I head up the comms department of South African Tourism. It's quite a simple program today, and I am going to hand over to our Chief Quality Assurance Officer, who's also our Acting Chief Marketing Officer, Ms. Brownwyn Oret, to kick off our proceedings so that we can get underway. At the end of the address of the Deputy Minister, we'll then be able to take some questions. Thank you so much for your patience.
Good morning, everyone. Wow. Welcome this morning to the Basic Quality Verification Conversation. It's wonderful to see everybody here and to see the interest that we've had in this program in the last week from our participants here at Africa's Travel Indaba. I'm here to introduce the Deputy Minister, whom I believe needs not too much introduction. And I am very excited to talk about the Basic Quality Verification Program. It's a program that is critical to growing the tourism sector. We ran a pilot in October 2021 in the Eastern Cape. It was a pilot that had tremendous success. We had about over 170 establishments apply for certification of a very basic standard of certification in the quality assurance system. From that particular pilot, we had over 70 establishments in the Eastern Cape certified, and one of those establishments even became a 3-star graded bed and breakfast. It is amazing because the product that we experience in cities in South Africa are very different to the product that we experience in villages, towns, and small dorpies. And it's an exciting moment because we are now rolling out to our second province, KwaZulu-Natal, and it's been amazing to see the take-up and the interest in this program. Moreover, we not only certify these products, but we also create employment. We find youth that are unemployed and we train them to become certifiers of basic quality verification. And for us, it's really exciting because it means that in the future, we are really hoping as the Tourism Grading Council South Africa that these youth will become our future assessors. And our assessors are critical to the quality assurance of all the product in South Africa. So we're really seeing a long-term journey on this program, and we're very, very excited to be here. And thank you very much for coming. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Mr. Fish Mahlaklela, who will be delivering the keynote address. Mr. Fish Mahlaklela is the Deputy Minister of Tourism of the Republic of South Africa, and he's a member of the ANC Congress, ANC in the National Assembly of South Africa. He obtained his matric certificate from Nkomazi High School and holds an honours degree in governance and leadership from the University of the Witwatersrand. After the 1994 general elections, he was deployed as a member of parliament and has since served the country in different responsibilities, both in province and national legislatures. He has been a member of the provincial legislature where he served amongst others as a chairperson of the Standing Committee of Public Account, that's SCOPA, and as the chairperson for the Association of Public Accounts Committee for South Africa, and also served as the chairperson of the South African Development Committee in Public Accounts. During his tenure in Mpumalanga province, he served in various executive positions, and notably the following responsibilities: MEC of the Department of Environmental Affairs and Tourism, MEC for the Department of Culture, Sport and Recreation, MEC for the Department of Local Government and Traffic, MEC for the Department of Roads and Transport, MEC for the Department of Safety and Security, and MEC for the Department of Health and Social Development. He's also previously served as the ANC whip for the Portfolio Committee on Health in the National Assembly. Mr. Mahlaklela has a proud history in the struggle against apartheid in South Africa, was exiled in the 1980s and received military training in numerous countries as a member of the ANC's military wing, Mkhonto Sizwe. In 2002, he was elected to the chairperson of the ANC in Mpumalanga province in 2002. Colleagues, it is with great pleasure that I introduce the Honourable Deputy Minister, Mr. Fish Mahlaklela.
Thank you very much, our Chief Quality Officer. Well, I'm Mahlalela. I know you are not the only one who find it difficult to pronounce my surname. Others say it's Mahlasela. Others say what you are saying. But it's fine. We're a rainbow nation. No, thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to extend my greetings to everybody in the room here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try to be as quick as we possibly can because now at 10 o'clock we're having a MINMEC meeting. It's the first MINMEC since the appointment of the new minister in the tourism sector. It is my singular honor, indeed, to be accorded this wonderful opportunity to share with you this morning on the sideline of this magnificent Africa travel endeavor. According to John Ruskin, quality is never an accident. It is always the result of intelligent effort. This is true, especially today as we celebrate the excellency during the launch of KwaZulu-Natal leg of the basic verification program. As the program director has indicated, we did launch it as a pilot project in the Eastern Cape. So we're now expanding it to KZN. This Africa Travel Indaba is the largest tourism that show to the African continent, bringing together travel industry professionals, exhibitors, the media from around the world to showcase the best of what Africa's tourism offering is. The event provides a platform for African countries to promote their destination products and services while offering networking opportunities, educational seminars, and insights into the latest trends in the travel industry. Watching basic quality verification program grows and evolves over the period of time ordinarily means there is something good that is happening. The BQV, which is the Basic Quality Verification, is the Tourism Grading Council's new program that will be launching today here in KZN as part of the leg of the Africa Travel Indaba. As I've indicated, after we've successfully launched a pilot project in the Eastern Cape. This program helps small tourism establishment in under-resourced villages, towns, and small dorps to reach their full potential by giving them access through training, expertise, and resources, as well as Tourism Grading Council's valuable stamp of approval. Hotels, B&Bs, guest houses, and homestays tucked away in small towns deserve their time in the sun. And the BQV does exactly that. The program offers verification to ungraded tourism establishment in the villages, townships, and small dorps free of charge. Establishment in the villages, townships, and small dorps makes up the foundation of South Africa's tourism industry. These small establishments offer authentic South African experiences, but travelers still want to know their basic comfort level, standard of safety, cleanliness, and customer experience. Within this verification, these establishments can offer their customer peace of mind while still offering them authentic experience of our culture and our hospitality. Basic qualification verification helps to ensure that a certain standard of safety, cleanliness, and customer experience is guaranteed across the entire tourism value chain. With the Tourism Management Act, the Tourism Grading Council of South Africa is mandated to promote excellency in the provision of tourism services, facilities, and products. But it is important to remember that our mandate is not just relevant to paying or graded members, those who can afford to be graded. Instead, we should be creating an environment to set up all tourism establishments to succeed. Because tourism is a vital contributor to the South African economy, creating an environment where tourism establishments of all shapes and sizes can succeed and thrive. It is a key way in which South African tourism contributes to the tourism recovery plan that we developed in 2021 in response to the COVID pandemic. Of course, as a sector that facilitates mobility and human interaction, the tourism industry has been among the hardest hit by the pandemic, and the socio-economic effects of the pandemic are still felt in the sector as we meet today. As we know that in response to these challenges of the pandemic, we developed a tourism sector recovery plan, working together with the sector as a whole to ensure that going forward, the sector is more sustainable and more resilient, with the primary goal of the plan being to yield a recovery sector, characterized by, as we recover, we must make sure that we become as much inclusive as practical possible, and make sure that the industry is able to sustain itself. And what better encapsulates the idea of inclusion that the Grading Council's new program. At yesterday's panel discussion about the basic quality verification program, the topic was impacting tourism from the ground up. And that is exactly what we are doing with BQV. We're widening the cycle, giving small establishments access to the resources, training and expertise they need in order to welcome our customers that are waiting for. The BQV program offers tangible value beyond verification, beyond its stamp of approval. It offers that supports establishment in VTSD, that is village townships and small dorpies, with the well-programmed problems on the foundation of verification. What are the benefits of this program? Firstly, is providing access through enterprise development program, which is administered by the Department of Tourism, by providing the necessary support. Secondly, providing access to services excellence program administered by the department as well, which provide training to the owners and employees, such as marketing, trade show participation, and access to the ECD program, that is the Enterprise Service Development Program. We have 123 SMEs, for example, that we have supported as a department that are part of the show here, of which among of those are part of those in the BQV. Providing access to funding opportunities to develop their offering to meet core requirements for formal grading over time, in terms of making sure that they're exposed to the market, they've got access to funding network, etc. Because the Tourism Grading Council is not just a body that is service of paying members, but is committed to being in service of all tourism establishments. We developed and implemented this BQV as a means for us to help small establishments to form that foundation in our industry. And it is a strong foundation that we can build our sector as we recover. Because if we recover well, then the tourism industry will continue to do what it does best: create opportunities for economic inclusion, economic opportunities, youth and women empowerment, in the context of what the tourism recovery plans want. As you know, that our plans, that is the tourism recovery plan, has identified 8 priorities, which is ensuring energy security. That's why if you have seen 2 weeks ago, the minister was in Cape Town in one of the product that we've supported through a program of green incentive program, where we assist them to put rooftops on how to save energy and also how to preserve water. And as a result of that intervention, the establishment was able to reduce the operational cost by 65%. Strengthening food sector. The second one is growing the productive economy. As a sector, we've got an obligation to grow the economy. Mass public employment intervention. We've got programs that we're engaging in the form of an EPWP, where we're massively employing young people in various work that we're doing as a department. Infrastructure investment. We're busy with many infrastructure projects that are community-based by nature, that after we've completed them, we hand it over. It belongs to the community. They run themselves. They get a management company to assist them in running it on their own. And then the strengthening of food security and support for tourism, for the recovery of the sector and growth. But more importantly, the gender equality and inclusion of women and youth in the whole value chain of the tourism sector. BQV therefore clearly embodies so many of these priorities intervention that we've just listed, in terms of empowering youth, in terms of employing the unemployed graduates, and in terms of making sure that women are empowered. In most of the products, for example, when we're doing the pilot that we did in the Eastern Cape, the majority of the owners of these products are women, which is a good thing because women constitute the majority in society, and they are the most marginalized in society because they suffer a triple oppression. These establishments know that they thrive when the business around them thrive. They create a small-scale model of mandate because we are aiming to create nationwide environment where all tourism establishments are equipped with the resources, knowledge, training, and expertise. So we were currently actively engaging all the sectors to participate in the revitalization of our industry. And we are moving towards the process of recovery. And we believe that this program will have a huge contribution towards the recovery by empowering those that were the most excluded in the rural areas, in the small towns, and in the townships. We are excited to watch this program rolling out now in KwaZulu-Natal because it is truly impacting the tourism industry from the ground up. The good thing about the rolling out of this here, we're rolling out it in the northern part of KZN, where most people, when they think about KZN, they think about Durban. We want to shift that so that people understand that KZN is not just Durban. Shift to the north and explore that part of the province, and you'll see how exciting it is in terms of rural tourism. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Minister, and thank you so much, CQAO. We are very time constrained, so we are going to spend the next 10 to 12 minutes taking questions. How we'll work it is that we'll take 3 questions at a go and allow both the DM as well as our CQAO to answer questions. Should there be more questions after our time has elapsed, our CQAO will stay behind and we'll be able to do those questions. So I will now open the floor. There is a roving mic. I will take 3 questions at a go. We'll start with the gentleman over here.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm curious about the American market, as I'm British but living in based in New York. I understand that South African Airways might be starting up again, which would promote tourism. I've also noticed that the Americans are traveling on leisure, very much so. It's starting to expand. And do you have any comments at all about the US market? Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi there, thanks so much for the presentation. It's a very exciting project, I think. Doreen from Travel Weekly. I just wanted to know, I know that you've done the pilot project and that you're now rolling out to KZN. Do you have a timeline yet for the whole country? And is there a database for the travel trade or for the travelers to access these establishments so that they can find them and know how to access them?
Thank you so much. We'll take one last question, if there is. All right. I think we will see from the panelists who's able to or who's comfortable to take the questions. Brown, I think you would be able to do that. The Americas. Let's start with the BQV question and then round off with the one about the UK and the US. We'll start with that one.
On the BQV side, we are rolling out in KZN this year, and we see that taking up the better part of the year. And we are hoping to roll out into another 4 provinces over the next 18 to 24 months. It is quite a program to set up. We are quite rigorous in our process, and we work with the provinces and the local communities so that we can engage everyone quite requisitely. So we are looking to roll out as quickly as we can, but it takes a bit of time because we do train all the assessors and make sure that everyone is very knowledgeable, and we include the whole community. Thank you.
Is there a database?
Yes. So as we verify and we proceed, we'll certainly put them up on our website.
And then if we may proceed to the gentleman's question.
Well, as you know, we've got our key market, of which currently our key market is there 24, and then we're expanding to new markets. And America is part of the key market, is the second biggest, is the third biggest market. The first one is UK, followed by Germany, then America. So we are working very hard. We have been having programs, extensive programs in marketing South Africa in the US. We've got also a hub office that is running. You'll recall that we launched the former acting CEO was there 3 weeks ago as part of the marketing campaign for America. As you know, we've got a direct flight from America to South Africa, from USA to America, to South Africa, in particular to Cape Town. And it has been running, it's always fully packed. We still want to expand more into that market so that we're able first to retain it and sustain it, protect it, but as well create opportunity for expansion. Because as you know, our target that has been set by the President in the State of the Nation address before COVID-19 was that as a country we need to reach 21 million arrival by 2030. We have not yet changed that target. We're still working towards that target, regardless of what the COVID-19 has done. And we think that it is doable, we can be able to succeed as long as we're able to deal with the impediment and the blockages and create easy access to South Africa. And we are working around that. with the Department of Home Affairs in terms of the visa regime. We are working with the Department of Transport to deal with the challenges of airlifting and connectivity. We are working with the law enforcement agent to make sure that we create a safer environment for our tourists when they come to South Africa. We're engaging on various programs. We've got a tourism safety strategy that we're implementing. We've trained and deployed tourism monitors in most of our tourist attractions so that our tourists are protected, they feel safe wherever they travel in the country. So that's those are some of the things that we're working around so that we make sure that we create that vibes and practically to the world that we are a safe destination. We are a country to be visited. We've got a lot of things to offer, with more importantly, the warmth of our people. It's very critical. So we are working around that to make sure that we reach our target at the end. In America, it's one of our key source markets.
Thank you so much, Deputy Minister. Are there any other questions? Please go ahead, ma'am.
Sorry, I came late, so I probably missed half the show. Ursula, Cape Info SA. This is my 29th visit to Indaba, so I'd just like to ask this question. I read here in my notes that you are giving unemployed youth access to training. So what I'd like to know is, what are the criteria for, sourcing the youth that need this training? Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Msizweni Mgadi. I would like to ask with regards to infrastructure. I heard the Deputy Minister talking about assisting some communities with regards to infrastructure. Because I have a village that I founded in a rural area of Umkambatini. It's still under development at the stage. It's called Indlondlo Cultural Village. I would like also to get some help, if possible, with regards to develop it to its completion. If maybe in that program there can be some sort of assistance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That will be the last round of questions that we'll take in this format. Once we've concluded the formalities, we will then have our CQAO stay behind for any further questions. This is to allow the Deputy Minister to be able to proceed to MINMEC. So we will tackle these two questions and then we will conclude.
Thank you very much, Ursula. Thank you. Welcome back. Next year we're going to have a 30th celebration for you. Tendewe, remember that? So what we do is we work with the province to identify graduates that are unemployed. And as we roll out, it does take work with the province to identify the students that I'd like to put into the program.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what we will do, Ursula, if you've got further questions, we'll proceed beyond this. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
No, as indicated, we look around for graduate unemployed youth, and then we're then training them to be part of the people that get trained in terms of basic verification, and then we're then able to give them that responsibility to work around it. But there are other many programs of youth in the department beyond this one that we are engaging upon. We're training them on various skills. This year we'll be training in various skills numbers that we are going to announce on the 24th of this month during the budget the vote debate. So we'll be stipulating the number of youth, on what field we'll be training, and all of that. And then once they finish training, we assist them to either to look for possibility of establishing their own businesses, or alternatively, if they're absorbed in where they will be doing practical experiences, they get absorbed. The majority of them get absorbed by the sector. So we'll be able to explain that in details during the budget vote on the 24th of May. The second question, we are doing, as I'm saying, we're building infrastructure, community infrastructure. This financial year, we are busy with about 30, no, not 30, 99 community infrastructure in the whole country. And the development comes, we don't go and impose a project. It's a community that identify a project for development, come and approach us. We then commissioned a feasibility to determine whether that product, if we put there, is not going to remain a white elephant. Is it going to be usable? So the feasibility will then indicate that this project is going to be viable. And once we arrive at the viability, we then commissioned, we're working together with DBSA in terms of the construction, because we are not engineers in the department. We don't do, so if there is such a project that you want to develop, you have to approach the department. The department will send its team to make an assessment, verification, then from there commission a study, a feasibility study, to determine the viability of the project. Once we find it is viable, then we put it in the system of budgeting processes. And then once we finish the other project, then we put it in like that. As we complete others, we bring in new ones, just like that. So that's how it will be, it works. But the BQV that we're talking about is already individuals who are in the slightly corners there, having some element of an accommodation, but they're not meeting the necessary standard that you can recommend for a tourist to go and have an accommodation there. That's what we're trying to do, to put them at a level, upgrade them to the level where it is at a state where we can say, this one, you can accommodate visitors. And we want the homestays, because tourists, now they're more interested to interact with South Africans, to understand their culture, their way of lives. So if you take them and put here in Durban, they're not going to leave South Africa understanding South Africa. But if you take them to the north of KZN, but by the time they go, if they go back, they will be knowing everything about the Zulus. But when you bring them here, they will not know anything about the Zulus. Because here it's a mixture of Molo, it's a mixture of everything. And therefore, they will not be able, so we're doing that, exactly, that's what we're going to make, so that by so doing, then we're activating the rural tourism and making sure that culture and heritage as well play a very critical role in the tourism space. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure if the gentleman was answered, but we can take that offline. I'd like to thank everyone for taking your time out. I know 9 o'clock is a stretch on day 3 of Africa's Travel Indaba. Thank you for honoring this. Thank you so much to the Deputy Minister. Thank you, sir. Thank you, CQAO. We will take questions after this. Thank you so much.